and cause us concern. As we are all aware, there's other issues going on in this world with the rise of this coronavirus and with a new strand of a potential plague. And I gave a longer lecture which is online about the fiqh of plagues and what we should do. But just a brief summary for those that weren't attending or did not listen. That realize that these types of trials are indeed trials from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And our Prophet ﷺ instructed us with very clear instructions. He said in that famous hadith which is well known between Umar ibn al-Khattab and Abu Ubaidah when the plague came to Syria. He said, if you are in a land that a plague comes, don't leave that land, stay there. And if you are not there, then don't go there. It's very simple. So if we are not in such a land, and alhamdulillah we are not, then it is not a part of our sharia to make it a point to go there. It is foolishness to do that. Tawakkul in Allah means we take the necessary precautions, and of the necessary precautions is there's no need to go to those areas where these types of plagues are happening. Also, our Prophet ﷺ told us that the plague, it can be a mercy and it can be a punishment. It is a mercy for those who reject Allah, for those who are insolent, it is a punishment for those who reject Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and are insolent and arrogant. And it is a mercy for the believers. Our Prophet ﷺ said, any Muslim who dies in the plague will die the death of a shaheed. So we don't want anything like this. We ask Allah for protection. But if something like this happens, we need to demonstrate to Allah iman and sabr. And the people who are experts in this regard, we should listen to them. Our sharia tells us that there should be no harm. La darar wa la dirar. Our sharia tells us of the goals of the sharia is the protection of life, the protection of our lives and livelihood. And therefore, if a impediment comes, if an issue comes in which it is dangerous to go out in public, it's dangerous to congregate, it's dangerous to shake hands, no problem, we will follow those rulings. No one should think, I'm going to follow the sunnah and shake your hand when we have been told. Right now it's not that bad, but I'm saying if it does get to that situation and the government says that it's so bad, don't have Jumu'ah for example. In that scenario, it will not be a part of our religion to have Jumu'ah, because life is more important than spreading a plague. And who's going to decide that? The experts, the medical doctors. My point here is as the religious person to tell you that if that happens, don't feel that Islam is telling me to be foolish. Islam is telling me to take no precautions. No, we take every single reasonable precaution that the experts and doctors are telling us of washing our hands and not coughing out in public. And if we have fever, we stay home and don't come for Jumu'ah maybe if we have a fever. All of this is a part of our religion that Allah Azza wa Jal wants upon us. Subhanallah, dear Muslims, our Prophet ﷺ said that anybody who has eaten a garlic should not come to the masjid because it irritates other people. I swear to you, is a garlic more harmful than the virus? Is a garlic more dangerous than a virus? If a person has the potential to have the virus, do you think this person should think, oh, it is wajib to pray Jumu'ah, I'm going to infect everybody else? Or should he stay home for the protection of everybody else? Dear Muslims, understand your religion and don't become so hard-minded that you think it is Islamic to do something that will cause other people harm. No, our religion is a religion of wisdom and intelligence, and we will follow when that happens. Also, dear Muslims, take precautions of this dunya as well. If the government says, whenever it will say that, if it says to take extra food and drink and water, it's a part of our preparation as well. Our Prophet ﷺ actually would have a stockpile of grain for the next year. It's nothing haram to have preparations for that. It's something that is a part of our sharia. My point here in the khutbah is not to tell you the specifics, that's not my job, but to tell you that when the specifics come out from the people who know it, it is a part of our religion to follow those specifics. We ask Allah's protection, we ask Allah's afiyah, we ask Allah Azza wa Jal to protect ourselves and our families and all of our loved ones. Allahumma inni da'in fa'aminu. Allahumma la tada'na fi hadha al-yawmi dhanban illa ghafarta, wa la hamman illa farrajta, wa la daynan illa qadayta, wa la maridan illa shafayta, wa la asiran illa yassarta. Allahumma aghfir lana wa إخواننا الذين سبقونا بالإيمان ولا تجعل في قلوبنا غلا للذين آمنوا ربنا إنك رؤوف رحيم. اللهم أعز الإسلام